Rhythm on it.
Every time I step in the arena, all I want to see you do. Hands in the air now. Hands in the air. Hands in the air now. Hands in the air. Yo, just know when you come to my city to battle, you gotta walk past my statue in the front before you even get to me. Yo, I've been down it since I was 8, cause my team wasn't on pace. Give up 81 to their face, Jaylee Roses on their grave. Now 24 when they really hate. Love it when the stakes so high, I rest I wasn't like 10 alone on my dinner plate. First take to the max, I kill a man, that's no debate. It was fate since I began, I was bound to be great. In my leg going and sinking, in my way of shaking bait. Niggas say I stay with every move I make. You see that two types of man, the one that's on the court and the one that's in the stand. The one playing the sport and the one that's just a fan. But don't understand, but swear they could do better than you on this last dance. But it's Jerry Quartet, looking up to Jordan. More than too important, it's still more important. Well, I'm hated or supported, y'all getting extorted. Leave your team assorted, you traded while I'm awarded. Hey, let me see those hands now. Let me see you dance now. Let me see those hands now. Let me see you dance now.
Stand back and watch it go mode. Half man, half ram, call it go mode. On the proud with my ground, call it go mode. G-O-A-T, you know we
Now they
go
call me PW Kirk, a legend in 2 games. I went from dancing to rapping, I'm bodying both lanes. They had me down 3-1, came back like King James. I ain't chasing this fame, just stacking up all this change. Look, I wasn't tall, so I idolized the guards. Now I cross over like Iverson with these bars. I was in China like Marbury living large. And Kimber Walker from the Bronx, I knew I could be a star. I made a couple raps and now they asking, can I open up? I got them fans throwing up their arms like I woke them up. See me on their TV screens, more you going up. Ain't gotta brag, you know what's up when we showing up. They told me be the best I can be. I ain't the definition of gold, it's the definition of me. 10,000 hours time to take the game mastery, and I'm in gold mode with this Mamba mentality.
Let me see those hands now. Let me see you dance now. Let me see those hands now. Let me see you dance now.
Stand back and watch it go mode. Half man, half ram, call it go mode. On the proud with my ground, call it go mode. G-O-A-T, you know we gon' go.
Greatest of all time, the greatest of all things. Waffle crew in the house, the greatest of all teams. Spread our talent to America like AGT, 2K23. You cannot play with me. I'm a step ahead like a stutter step that you went for. Pump fake, 4-point play like I'm Chris Paul. Vince Carter over foreign giants, hopping out the foreign like a giant known to be quiet, causing a riot. Burn the whole system down, form a new alliance. Open interpretation between spirit and science. Your reliance on our human genetics upsetting. You watch sports, so watch the black man's natural progression. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold my Kawhi Leonard. I don't really think they get it. Curry with the winning Golden State and mine are really in it. I'm the one they always go at when they wanna go at with it. I'm a goat mode, 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 goat mode. Here we go. 23 from the line. Goat mode. Moonwalking with the shine. Goat mode. When your chakras all aligned, that is goat mode. G-O-A-T, you know I'm going goat mode. Goat mode.
All right. Go GOAT mode. We are in the house. We are in the house. We are in the house right now, right this second. We got to talk about this. We are in the house and I have, oh my God, we do that because we live in each other's heart all day, all the time. Him and his wife live in my heart. They're such great supporters. I'm so happy that we have Sir Hale Speaks in the building. This is something I knew I needed to sit with him and talk about and chop it. I know it's all over YouTube, all over the nation. It's international conversation, but my heart has been heavy. When I tell you heavy about this, I tell you, I want to get into it. I want to really get Sir Hale's perspective. I respect him. I respect how he thinks. I respect what he offers. And I love how he loves people. And I love people. I love people and I want the best for people. And I've been dealing with a strong, righteous indignation. Oh my God, I'm telling you, this thing is really bothering me. It's bothering me. And I know you've heard a lot. It's flooded everywhere. But I know that we have to say her name on this platform. So before we go any further, let's just do the official opening on this Bravo. Those of you who have never been here before, if you're in here, come on and hit that like button. Go ahead and help me push these numbers and push this algorithm. We are ready to talk about this tonight. Let's get into it. we are back. Thank you. Welcome to Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. But we got the brave brothers always here in the house with us, right? We love guys. We love girls. We love men and women. Listen, this is not a partial thing where we just talk to women. It just so happened that I'm in the lane where I can really feed into women. So I welcome you to Bravo with Sheila. I'm so happy that you're here. We welcome you tonight to chat with us, to give us your not advice, but your thoughts about this topic. Let me bring to the platform the one and the only, the one and the only. I said it, the one and the only in the universe, Mr. Sir Hale speaks. Hello.
Hello. Before we even get started, I want to give Miss Bravo her flowers for all that she does. Thank you so much for having me on. Honored to be here.
Thank you so much. You know, I always love to have you here, have your wife here. You know, I love to chat and get inside of your chats. And sometimes I'm not, how I say, physically there on the cameras, but I'm in the chat, right? I'm in the chat, pulling in all the information and all of the content that you put on the platform for those that come in and listen afterwards, that they can grow and understand. I mean, God has called you for such a time as this. It's not an easy assignment, but it's your assignment. And I know that he's graced you to do it. And I know that you're making a difference in the lives of so many people. Keep doing, keep pressing, keep it moving. Because you know, and I know, when nothing changes, nothing changes. And if we don't change, nothing shifts, right? Absolutely nothing shifts. And tonight, I'm so grateful and thankful that you're here tonight, this evening, to talk to me, to talk to the folks out there. Some of you may like, where's she at? I don't see that sign behind her. I am not in New York. I am not in my regular studio. I'm actually in California with my family for Thanksgiving and my birthday. So that's why I'm kind of in. I found a spot. Everybody went to their designated spots. Everybody's working in the offices. And I said, I have to find a spot. So this is my spot. And so it doesn't matter. As long as we're here, we're here. So Sir Hale, are you doing well tonight?
I am doing fantastic. I want to give you a shout out. So y'all who don't know this, people think that we just do these shows. And what you start to realize is you can do shows with people, but some people you're just connected to. And over these last few months, Bravo, every time I would speak or say something, and I'll be thinking something or needing some encouragement, every single time, pop-up message, and she'll say the exact words. And I cannot tell you how much, I tell you this in private, but I want people to know publicly that I really appreciate your heart. And that's why whenever you're on a show, I try to make my way. I will end my show early to show up for yours because I appreciate you just that much. And I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate you as well. I sometimes I joke with you and say you're my little brother. You know, you're my little brother. Then sometimes you switch off and then become my big brother, right? And I get those jewels and I learn from you, right? Because it's not about a number. It's about what you're containing, your capacity and what you hold. And you hold a lot. And so I love learning and listening. You know, I don't like when people come after you. You know, I'll be praying in the spirit on the side, in the background. When folks come up against you, I start interceding and stuff like, back it up, back it up. So, Sir Hale, I have this. Let's say hello. We got Innate Ninya. I started saying her name correctly for the first time this last couple of weeks. She is in the house. Hello, Bravo with Sheila. Looking forward to this epic broadcast. She is the official Bravette. You see how she signs on? She says, let's chat Bravette here. She is the official Bravette. We got Lady Hale, my sister, first lady in the house. She's saying hello. She's saying hello to all of us. I love this lady. Woo, woo, she says. I love her spirit. She is a wonderful, wonderful individual. And I love how they flow together and how they have grown as husband and wife together. And so, Sir Hale, I have this righteous indignation, like pushing on me. And those of you, let me just drop a jewel. If you don't know what righteous indignation is, right? See, I'm not allowed to call people those awful words, and that's not who I am anyway, right? I've never been really had a potty mouth, right? I've always learned how to express myself as a lady, but getting my point across in a diplomatic way. But there is something called a righteous indignation. A righteous indignation is typically a reactive emotion of anger over perceived mistreatment, insult, or malice of another. Yeah, it is akin to what is called the sense of injustice. Injustice. And that's what we're talking about today. We are talking about an injustice that was done. Okay, I got you, Sir Hale. I got you. Let me just set this up. So if you guys would just bear along with me while I had so much on my mind and in my heart, I had to write down some of these notes so that I would be able to keep up with what I wanted to express today concerning say her name. Shanquella Robinson. Come on, say her name. And I could not be have a platform on these in these YouTube streets without saying her name. I'm saying her name because on October 28th, she left for a so-called birthday celebration. On October 29th, her life was put on pause. And so this has gone international and it's a lot. So bear along with me as I kind of set this up, because these are the things I want to talk about. And then when Sir Hale, gets back and he can take his time while I set this up, I want him to jump in, and I want you guys in the chat, those of you out there on Facebook, thank you so much for being here. Those of you in the YouTube streets, I really appreciate your presence. And so there is an infestation of fake friends, jealousy, betrayals, and the frenemies. I said the frenemies, hatred, whether it's black on black or white on white. This is something that's crossing over different races and cultures, right? So the spirit, the jealousy can become a murderous spirit if not checked. It festers in the one or ones who has allowed it to manifest, to harm, delete, or sabotage another. This has been the main thing that bloggers and newscasters across the world internationally have been given details and believe allegedly that this happened because of a jealous, they don't say spirit, but those of us that are believers, we know what that thing is. Call a thing a thing. So we'll call it jealousy. So it's across the board understood by all, because this is what has been coming up. But every day there's new content, new lies, new truths. Everything is popping up. And I didn't want to talk about this last week because I knew things would unfold. I knew there would be more information. I knew that there would be mixed information. There would be all types of hatred spewed. It would be all anger, coming forth. That's right. Say her name. So, I want to just say this, and then I want my little brother, big brother / big brother to jump in and let's talk about this, because I know he has some really heavy stuff to talk about concerning this. So each day we're getting all these new details. And like I said, I had so much on my heart. I had to jot these things down. I didn't want to forget anything. So one of the things that's noticed is that when young people and old people and middle-aged people in these days that have a smartphone, we travel, we have an event, a party, we always either go live or take pictures or say, we at the airport, we're having a party, we make posts. I haven't seen any post on any of the alleged people's pages. Well, they're down now. I haven't seen anything in terms at the airport. I haven't seen them announcing about this party. I do know that Quilla, as they call her, called her mom and told her she was going to a birthday celebration. But as far as it being widespread with promoting this party, which is very unusual today to not be done, we don't see a lot of that. So that makes me, it's questionable. It's questionable. The hotel did not have any reservations for a big party. Like, what was happening with these plans? Why wasn't there anything? I know when we go away, if there's a party, the hotel knows I'd like this here in my room here. I want this room. Do you have a separate space? Can we have a private area? Can we pop bottles? The people say none of that has been recorded or stated that happened for this so-called birthday trip that was said by the so-called friend, I think his name is Nasir. I have his name written down. He said he was invited in July to this party, and he wasn't going to go because his own birthday was a week before this trip. So no reservations, right? I want to give a shout out to Fumi Duse Void. I hope I said her name. She correctly. She's a blogger in the YouTube streets, and she had some really, really interesting points in saying people like, why was she naked? Why didn't she have clothes on? The thought is because the day before the 28th, of course, we saw them on a clip of video taking shots and drinking margaritas, but that wasn't a celebration. It was dinner. That very next morning, it had to be morning that I don't know if they forced their way in her room, but they came to her room. They came to her room. The blogger thinks that she might have been in the bathroom in a shower, coming out of the shower, and there they were. Makes sense. That's the first I've heard of something that makes sense why she was naked. She also pointed out that if you look at the video, there was furniture shifted where there was space. A lot of space was put in place as if there was going to be allegedly a fight. Makes sense. There was nothing in the room that would support, oh, we're going to celebrate or we're going to have a party. There is a clip with Quilla walking through the villa, talking to her friends about you're not dressed. Supposedly it was about going to the pool. We don't know. I don't know. All right, I'm almost done. I just had to get this out. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the robbery in terms of when they left. Allegedly, Shanquella left the States with around 10 G's, around $10,000. This young woman was successful. She was a hair braider. She had hair braider business for young kids. She had boutique. She had different things. She was on the come up by herself. She was making a mark with her beautiful life, despite the association of her frenemies or whatever. She was doing her thing. She had went to college with one of these girls, from what I understand, and her 5-year friend was the gentleman, what was his name? Nazir Wiggins, right? That was her longest friend. He was friends supposedly with the rest of them. So it wasn't like they were a tight crew from what I understand. So these are the things I want to chop up and talk about with Sir Hale. So they robbed her. They took her clothes. They took her credit cards. They moved to a hotel near the airport and spent up money, bought their tickets home, had her luggage to bring back, but left her in a strange country alone and deleted. My God, like really? And then lied, and each lie started to unfold and continues to unfold. So we're saying her name tonight on Bravo. I'm saying it with Sir Hale Speaks, and it really pushed me to talk about this too, because the last show, I don't know if it was the last show that Sir Hale had on, but it talked about women, friends, allegiance, what's wrong, what's missing, what happened. And here we go right now. So he really triggered it even more so for me to want to talk about this. And I wanted to say her name on my platform. So we talk about the doctor that came in the room. They even have a video, and someone said that they propped her up and put her over the toilet as if she was throwing up, right? But she was already gone. So they really set this scene up. They went through so much, but they couldn't pull this off. They couldn't pull it off. Now, did they mean to delete her? I don't know, right? But I know there were a bunch of men, not a bunch. There were men in the room. There were females in the room. This girl did not want to fight. And so I want to get into it now. Shout out to NC Beats, the blogger Gerald, who interviewed Bernard Robinson, her father, he who had to call around Mexico and find out where his daughter was. Finally, after going through the language barrier, there was a woman in the funeral home named Elizabeth who helped him get his baby back home, $6,000 later, 2 weeks later. And here we are right now talking about this. Who gave the last blow? Khalil Cook, Malik Dyer, Winter Donovan, Elise Hyatt, or Nazir Wiggins. They all are held responsible. Sir Hale, please, please, please jump into this.
First, if the family so happens to see this, we are sorry that this happened to you.
Yes.
This is tragic. It is one of the most disturbing things we've seen. And I know people say that it's not one of the most disturbing things because we see so much tragedy every day.
Yeah,
But when it's your family, it makes sense. So
absolutely.
it's horrible, and we are very sorry that this has happened. But
Mhm.
on Sunday, you're right. I was enraged because in this day and age, we're already, as a country, we're divided. As a community, we're divided. Families are divided, and even deeper, you don't know who's really your friends. And to see the video footage of a young lady who clearly didn't want to fight, like she clearly was not trying to engage into a fight, and to see the anger, even though when I watched the footage, I didn't hear anything. I just looked at it, and you can see the anger and the hostility toward her, and how they how they hit her and took advantage of her. And although the footage is out, the person who was taking the footage didn't help. You know what I mean? And it was not only tragic, but it makes you think, what if it's your daughter? We raising our kids and our girls to be, successful, and we want to make sure that they pick out their friends. But what if it was your daughter who was out there like that? And so it made me angry, and then it made me want to tell people that you can't just call people your friend. If
Mm,
you're successful, if you got a call on your life, if you got the anointing on your life, if you got something that's on you, you're going to attract people who might pretend to be your friends, but they are trying to get close enough to make something happen. And in this case, it looks like that's what happened, right?
mm,
Now, there's some legal stuff involved, but when you got a light on you, when you got something on you, you're going to attract people in your life who won't look like they'll damage you. They won't look like they'll hurt you, but given the opportunity, because
yes.
let me tell you something. No one goes on the trip,
Ooh.
this happens, and then they go shop and then lie about it. This was premeditated. And we're going to have to let people know that just because you're friendly, just because you're kind, just because you got a good heart, just because you see the best in people, just because you overlook stuff, it don't mean that those people deserve it. Sometimes you got to be able to, with your kind heart, to see a snake, to see a shark,
Mm,
and to call it for what it is. And don't let the goodness of your heart, the kindness of your heart, block you from what your spirit and what your intuition is telling you. And I feel for this young lady because looks like she was on her way to become more and do some stuff. And just like that, another life is gone. The other part that I'll say to this is, it's always your own people. It's always your own people. Like you can't blame it on nothing else. It be your own folks. It be the people
true.
who you trusted to do the most damage. And so it's disappointing, and it's infuriating. And I'm very sorry that this has happened.
Yeah, I am too. Sir Hale, it breaks my heart. I have three daughters. I cannot imagine. I just cannot imagine this happening to not just my daughter, but I can't imagine it happening to Shanquella. The moment of fear that this young lady was in the room with a group of people that she took a plane with the day before is now beating her and watching her get beat and being filmed. Like, I mean, unbelievable. And you struck something up because I remember having this type of jealousy on my life some years in the church. And this young lady has such a spirit of jealousy. I mean, I've always dealt with jealousy, right? So I know that spirit when I see it, when I feel it. And you can deal with it because you can kind of see it. But when it's like overbearing and when it's like it becomes this hurtful thing that you see could possibly hurt you. And that's why I say a jealous spirit can become a murderous spirit if you don't check yourself, because each person in life has a level where they can be jealous of something. But then you have some folks in their character, the level of jealousy is so beyond just a minute piece of jealousy, that thing turns into a murderous spirit if it's fed. Who's this? I don't know who this is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. And this particular person came against me so strong. She colored her hair like mine. She started buying clothes like mine, shoes like mine. And I'm like, what is this? And she wanted to deal with someone I was dealing with. It was bad. And the spirit of jealousy, so she began to start inviting me to things, just her and I. Can you come go to the beach? Can you go spend the day at the beach with me? Can you come? And I'm like, this is off. This is off. And I refused everything. The more I refused, the more she hated me. This is what I'm talking about. When you don't check that spirit, it festers and it grows because you're feeding it. It's being fed if you don't check it. And I know many people say, man, I deal with a jealous spirit. I got to do something about this. I got to pray about this. When you identify it, you can crucify it. But when you use it for harm, and then I found out later it was best that I did not accept any of those invitations, because I don't even want to tell you what she had in store for me. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So they're saying this was a jealous situation. It's a lot. I think it's a lot of different ingredients played into. Now let's talk about the alleged transgender woman that was there.
Can I add one part before we move on?
You can.
What you said is important, and I need everybody to understand that you can fake a lot of stuff. You can't fake what you feel. And jealousy is about, I want what Bravo with Sheila has. So I'm jealous because she got it and I want what she has. And that might not be a bad thing. That might inspire someone if it's managed well. But when it gets to the point where it's not that I'm jealous that she has it, I just don't want her to have it. That's a whole different level of stuff, because that jealousy that's not tempered, it metastasizes to envy. And once it becomes envious, it's no longer about them getting what you have. If that might be a byproduct, is that you're not here to enjoy it. And you're going to have to be careful, because jealousy and envy is not limited to people who are on the outside. You can have people who are of your same skin color, people who are in your same bloodline, people in your own family. You can be married to somebody who can be envious of you. And so what you cannot do is afford to pretend like you don't feel what you feel, because you feel it. Even if you try to see the best in a person,
it's true.
You feel that. And it's important. I'm saying this because a lot of us, we deny what we feel. It be right here. And because we don't want to be judgmental of people, we try to bypass that. And sometimes you got to listen to it. And it's better to be is better to be wrong about being right than to be right and be wrong, and then it costs you later.
It's
so
true.
Don't deny what you feel. When you feel that jealousy and that envy, don't pretend like it's not there. And here's another part. You can't buy your way to make a person not jealous of you. You can invite them. You can encourage them. You can take them on a spending spree. You can pour on the love. You can compliment them. You can dumb down. None of that stuff makes a difference, because jealousy is not about what you buy. It is a condition of the heart, and only God can change that. So be careful of what you feel, and don't take that for granted.
That's true, because how you're wired can definitely get you in trouble with the passes we give people. I know I'm like that. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I want to see the best in people. I don't want to believe that, no, I've never done anything to you. Why would you feel like that? I mean, I will go to the point of like, no way, like, and see it and feel it. And then I used to get to the point where, well, maybe they had a hard life, or now I'm having irrational thoughts, right, about why someone is really attacking me, which can cause a problem, just like you're saying. So I had to learn how to push that stuff off. Don't take chance, see it for what it is, love them from a distance, push back off of things that I know is not meant well for me. That is so very important. And this is how, again, with a point you just made, where people that are people pleasers miss all those signs. Let's see what Red Lipstick says here. Welcome, Red Lipstick. I love you, sister. She said, my brother was deleted because of his jealous fake friend. He deleted him. Wow. That's deep. That's so deep.
Jealous and friend.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Wow. I'm telling you, it's a lot. It's a lot. And so I don't know how much we can talk about the, being careful in what I say, but being that this is already news all over the place, I don't think we'll get tagged for saying anything because it's out there. And they're talking about, I think it is, what's her name? Dajay. I think that's the woman who they say is, uh, allegedly a transgender, because they're talking the point that they brought up when she was assaulted, they're saying that I could see in the video her getting hit numerous times. Her father said he was waiting for them to bring her casket into that funeral home when they finally got her back to the US. He said he broke down so bad, and when he looked at her, he said she was so bruised, knots on her head, busted lip, just messed up. I can't even imagine that. And he talked about how they're saying this fight happened, but he also talked about the report about how she expired. And they talked about this could never have been alcohol poisoning, right? Because that was the story until the autopsy, which he was the one who really was the first one to get this report and tell the family. And it talks about how the vertebrae, okay, so it was the loosening or detachment of her first vertebra from the base of her skull. So they're saying that this is called atlas luxation, which I found out, I think, is when someone is lifted but up. So a female couldn't have been to do that to her. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that to me, again, I'm not a legal expert, but I'm just my opinion is
Right.
for that to happen. There's different ways that could occur, but just taking that at face value, this just proves this, at least tends to make you further believe that this was intentional. That whatever was inflicted there was something behind. There was motive behind this, because that doesn't just happen. It doesn't just occur. Um, it just speaks to the intention behind this whole issue.
Yeah, it does. And and the father is saying, like, it's impossible for a female to have done that. And now you have the two girls like turning on each other. The girl went to Donovan, and the other young lady saying who gave the last blow that caused her to be deleted, right? When they all are guilty, I mean, who's gonna get the lesser charge? I mean, like really, like, what are you doing? And of course, we know they're turning on each other now. And one of the girls allegedly is in Connecticut. In New York, she fled. And but the FBI now is supposed to be involved in another situation in Mexico. It is known, allegedly, that many women died there with no investigation. That's why they didn't really push it. They said they didn't see any probable cause of anything in terms of illegal that happened. What? So they said, how many women? Some other blogger talked about the many people that have been deleted in Mexico, and no investigation has ever happened. And this could have happened because, remember, this happened in October. We're almost a month in. If it wasn't for the NC, the North Carolina blogger, I think Beats, North Carolina NC blogger, he is the one who was sent that first video from one of the girls. He is the one who sent it to the family. Thus, it began to spin. Red Lipstick is saying yes, so she's with me, and she's saying also that she was body slammed. Sir Hell, I'm sorry, I can't wrap my mind around how they allowed this and stood back and watched this. And then I heard the video where he says her friend was holding. She said, yes, Gerald, he's the one who kind of leaked it in a good way and sent it. So thanks for confirming that. I want to make sure I'm saying everything correctly. So he is the one who said, fight back. And I didn't hear it before. And she said, no. Really soft and faint. You could hear her. Why are you not fighting back? She said, no. Real soft. Like, he said, well, do something. Who raised these people?
Where is it? That was her best friend.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pissed off. I'm just disappointed at this whole thing. Best friend is there. I'm pretty sure wants to jump in, but I just hope those who are involved, they get time. I'm upset by this. As you're reading this, I'm trying to stay calm, but I'm just disappointed at this because she's recorded. It's telling her to fight back. She's saying no. And at the end of the day, everybody's just around seeing this one person who's not trying to be to even defend herself. Mm-hmm. It's not even in your in the heart to chill. You just gotta. It's just evil.
Who are you? Exactly. Now, Red Lipstick is saying something here. I did hear this as well. No, this is what I wanted to put up. They woke her up out of her sleep. That's why she was naked. Okay. All right. Whatever they did, it was all wrong. It was all wrong. And the fact that I also heard that her best friend, had become very jealous of her success. And that can happen as well because I always kind of say this, you really never know the level of a friendship or a relationship until things change, whether for the good or for the bad. You will see the reaction through
Absolutely.
Whatever. You won't know. Everybody, oh, that's my best friend. Has it been tested? Has anything happened to rattle her life or his life that would cause you to have to take a side? Did you jump ship when the storm came, or did you stay with them when the sun was in the ship? You never really know a person. And you talk about this a lot on your channel about relationships. When things change within a relationship, because nothing ever stays the same. But that's when you see the true heart and the motive of why the person is there with you. Many times men start out the gate with great jobs and, well, I told you about what I did, how I laid my life down for 14 years to help someone, right? Just the choice. Because of the humane part of me, there was no one else that would have helped that person. So I had to make a decision, right? I had to make a decision to help that person or walk away from that person or help that person from a distance, right? But at the same token, you can make decisions for your life. But many, many times people think they know you or know who they're with or sleeping with. And something happens, not even say something very drastic, something just to change the dynamics of the relationship, where you might have to compromise or move to a small apartment, or you might have to give up one of the cars, or, it could be anything. And you will see a whole dynamic shift based on something changing. And you just never know. And from what I've heard, they said this gentleman, who was her best friend for the last 5 years, who went to the mother's house for 4 days after he came back from Cabo and talked about this alcohol poisoning. And then when the father pops up with the information, he's gone. And he brings in her clothes or whatever lies they tell. So The one of the girls I understood was someone she went to college with, not sure. And they said she wasn't really close to all the rest of the people. She was just an add-on. You know how there's a crew and you know one of the people that's part of the crew and you go on the strength of them. The invitation was on the strength of them and you're there and you're getting to know these people, but you don't really know them. We don't know all these things. Like what could have happened? Let's see. Red Lipstick says there is an IG she took when she walked in on all of them talking about her. Oh, and they changed the subject when she walked in. Didn't see that one. Thanks for that. You see, it's unfolding. It's not ending, Sir Hale. It's not ending. She says, right. Friend of a friend. So she really wasn't protected. She didn't know those folks. Because obviously that's how they were with each other. Go ahead, Sir Hale.
See, I could imagine the fear. If the friend is supposed to be a friend, I can imagine when this whole thing goes down and she passes away. Now, if you don't go along with this, you're gonna go to jail. So let's all make up this story so we don't go to jail. And I think that it's a whole lot of collusion went on based off of fear. And in this moment, somebody should have stepped up and said the right thing. But I think fear is what led them to do what they did. Well, not fear for the best friend, guilt on the part of the people who actually inflicted the damage on her. I think that's partly what happened. And I think he operated on fear. And that's why he went to the house. But there's no excuse for that. And even though I understand that, like when you willfully lie, that to me is not a friend. I know that sounds harsh to say, but when I hear best friend, a best friend is going to do something to protect that person. And certainly we're not going to take a lie, go to the family's house, stay there knowing that your friend, the parent's child is no longer there, and then bring the luggage in and then go on with the lie. To me, there's some lines you don't cross when you are somebody's friend. And some lines you don't cross. And I think that this points to that you can be somebody's best friend, but it doesn't mean that they're yours.
Ooh.
Like what you won't do to them doesn't mean that they won't do that back to you.
Ooh.
And it just makes you think about that. You can be a friend, you can be a best friend to somebody who's not a best friend back to you.
So true, because you know how to be a friend don't mean somebody else know how to be a friend, right? Some folks just don't know how to be a friend. And let me see, we have some yeah, this is true. Reprobate minds. They so far over. They done went so far over the line. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Everyone's agreeing with that. Let's say hello to the co-host that's usually here. Dawn B is in the house. Dawn B is in the house. I don't know why you didn't pop up here. You hiding. You on vacation. I got you. Oh my God. This is something. We should be careful who we call friends. And I tell that to my children. I tell that to people because you hurt yourself when you claim a friend because your expectation, again, you know, I say expectation low, acceptance high. Your expectation of a friend can totally crush you once they drop you, once they let that thing out that you say, oh my God, how could they? I was their friend. I see you got to watch yourself. You got to guard your heart. You can't use the word. I tell people, are they your friends or are they an acquaintance or associate? Are they an acquaintance? Acquaintance is not a bad word. It's not a weak word, you know, but to get the friendship title, like, no, I've got to feel that. I got to know that there's that knowing when you have that kindred spirit, you know, but then again, down the road, it has to be tested. It has to be tested. And you don't listen. Here's the other thing. The other piece. It's not the quantity of time you know a person. It's the quality. That's facts right there. I've had friends for years and then met someone and knew them a year to the 7 years to that friend. And guess what? That 1 year gets the title as a friend. It's not the quantity. It's the quality. because friendship holds quality. Ooh, I tell you, I am so glad you came on to chat. I'm so glad. Go ahead, Sir Hill. I want you to go ahead. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, the thing that Red Lipstick posted up there about the IG she took where she walked in on all of them talking about her.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I say it, and I'm going to keep drilling this point.
Mm-hmm.
You feel stuff. And I know we talk about don't be in your feelings, but feelings are important if they are managed well, because it gives you insight to stuff that you wouldn't know. You didn't hear it. You didn't hear them talking about you. You didn't say nothing, but your feelings let you know that something is off. And I'm pretty sure if you live long enough, you done walked in a room with people who smile in your face, and
For real.
you could feel the whole
Oh
something
yeah.
shifted. And they can say all the right words, have all the right responses, be all yeah, girl, hugs and kisses and smooches and
Oh
stuff, but
yes.
you feel something. It is important, especially for the ladies, because men are good, men are just this, and we'll bounce. But women will override when it comes to other women. Women will override their logic to
Mm-hmm.
sustain friendship. And I keep on saying this, and I'm gonna drill it. I want you to tell your daughters, I want you to tell your sisters, the women in your life, that when you have a call on your life, when you've got some success that you're on, if people perceive you as more attractive than you, it don't matter what the reason is. If you happy, if you just happen to be
For
happy,
real.
you
Yes.
might have some haters on you who just don't want, they mad at you because you happy. You ain't
So
took nothing from them. You ain't stole nothing from them. You ain't talking down on them. They just mad at you because you got something that they wish that they had, and they don't know what it cost you to get what you got, but they envious of you. And they will, listen, if you feel that, don't act like you don't. I don't care if it's grandma. I don't care if it's godmama. I don't care if it's mama. I don't care if it's sisters, cousins, friends, best friends, church people, work co-workers. What you feel is important. And it does not mean that you're going to have to completely isolate, but you can't put yourself in danger
no.
by hoping people
No.
won't do what you felt.
Yeah.
If you feel it, it's a reason you felt that. And I need my ladies to understand to stop overriding that. It doesn't mean that you're being judgmental. It doesn't mean that you're being arrogant. It doesn't mean that that you're not giving people a chance. But you're going to have to learn to trust the instinct that God gave you. The same thing for the brothers, but I notice this in women specifically. You override what you feel, you deny it, and then it costs later. And so I'm hoping that we see this as proof that if you're on your way somewhere in life, you can't call everybody your friend. And the moment you get proof, and Bravo, it be subtle stuff. Like if you tell your girlfriend your dream and she smile, but you feel that really ain't no smile.
Right.
Like, I mean, the teeth, the teeth
Right.
against it, I mean, the teeth is on there, but
Right.
you feel something. You see what I'm saying? Like you
Right.
feel the energy. It's like it gets sucked out the room.
Right.
That's
Yes.
that's a real thing. If you say,
Mm-hmm.
girl, I'm gonna start at this LLC and I'm making this money, and when you sharing this, there's no sense of, you don't feel that bond there. Oh, no, that's, it's telling you something. And you can try to bring people into your success, but when they're jealous, it's not about you bringing them in. They don't want you to have it. And
Oh
that's a
my
dangerous
God.
spot to be in. And I need
Yes.
every lady to hear this and to tell other women to stop denying what you feel, especially when it comes to this, because your intuition was given to you on purpose and you've got to learn to use it.
That's so true. Oh my God, Sir Hale. I lived that so much. It took me so long to bounce from it, to recover from that terrible feeling that you feel when you've been with a group of women or whoever, and you've done nothing other than be yourself, and you find out how wicked the thoughts they have about you or the things they try to do to you. And then I had to learn that as I was growing and moving, I mean, because I'm a people person, right? I mean, I'm an introvert and I'm quiet and I don't need a lot of people, but I love people, that type of thing. If I'm on stage, that's my comfort zone. If I'm singing, I'm comfortable. But think about it, the people are still at a distance and I still have control. So I'm really a born introvert. But because I have been raised to love people and people were in and out the house, it stretched me as not being a total seclusive introvert. And I have learned over the years how people have really, really, I mean, no lie, come against me for no reason, like absolutely no reason. And then they said, well, I said, just me being me. And it's so true what you're saying. Then I had to learn as I began and God began to move me that when you grow and when you begin to move up any type of ladder, whether it's internally or outside of you, the shift has to happen with people that are around you. Because if I found this out really, really well when I started traveling to other countries and we're around groups of women and people that were doing what I was doing, right? Because if we're like here, we have no reason to be jealous of each other, right? All we can do is pull from each other and go higher like a sponge. But if I'm here and I used to be here and I'm here and you're still here, then I'm a threat to you. So you think. And so you start getting that spirit we talked about. You start feeding that spirit and you start getting thoughts in your head. So I had to learn to be around women who was trying to go where I was going. And then that feeling left the room because we're not combating against each other. We both have risen to a certain degree and there is no jealousy because we both hold your own. But the minute you start flowing back here up and down, not saying I don't have friends like that or whatever, but it's different now because I've moved somewhere else. And so you suffer when you do exactly, when you don't pay attention and realize that people think you're a threat because of the insecurities of their own being, their own self. It has nothing to do with me, how you feel. So I tell women all the time, stop embracing somebody else's stuff to be like, oh, what did I do? Why did they do that? What did I say? What? Nothing. That's their stuff. Stop putting it on you to figure out, to fit in. That's so important what you're saying.
That's a whole message. It's a whole message. I hope everybody's hearing this because it's so important because people shrink to fit in. And you look at this whole thing. This is, again, a whole picture of envy. It was never about, notice they could do this to her, they go use her stuff. Because it was always, when you can't be friends to someone who's not trying to go where you're going. Like you can be a friend to them, but they can never be that to you. And if you're not careful, it'll drag you down. So what you're saying is spot on. But I need people to get this because they'll hear this and be like, she surely is right. You know what I mean? She right. And then they'll still not believe that it's the person that they've been texting all day. Like that ain't your friend. You see what I'm saying? And so I need people to really get what you're saying because it's a conversation when it's about other people, but it becomes real when you see it in your own life. And so
Yes.
I'm hoping everybody sees it. And Robert with Sheila, you said you don't know, you didn't do nothing. You're intelligent, got favor on your life. You're happy, you care about people. It because it's not about what you've done, it's about who you are.
There it is.
And when you are walking
Why
in
you
who
ain't
you
drop
are,
a bomb? You got your machine right there. You just drop a bomb like boom right there. It's like,
yeah. And
yes.
That's what it is. It's who you are. Ain't did nothing to nobody except for be you. And when you have the freedom to be yourself, people who are pretending to be something that they're not can't stand it.
True
And
facts.
I hope that everybody gets this because it ain't just her. You might have people in your life that you're calling friend who's really not that. And it's a tragedy, but I think there's a lesson even in this as well.
It's so true. Let's see. Red lipstick is on fire. See, you could tell when a female or somebody, you don't even have to know the woman that walk this walk, right? Just being yourself, they mad. Like, I mean, I used to really have my feelings hurt. Like, I used to try to find out, like, what? And it's good sometimes to circumspect. It's good sometimes to look within you to see. But then you got to hold up for a minute. You be like, no. This is not me. This picture that you're painting is not me. Red Lipstick says, she on fire tonight. She says, I get called bougie and conceited, standoffish. Oh, well, she said, I protect my circle. That's right. Here's another biggie. And this is so true. Stop telling people your business because they can't handle your capacity. If you haven't gotten to the point where you're in the room with bosses who know what they want, where they're going, where they've come from, and still can flow, then you got to kind of separate, and like my mother say, feed them with a long handled spoon. You know, my daughter Pache, Coach Pache, did a big event this past weekend, and it was called Built Boss Built. And so some men were in the room, and they like, you know, when we passed the mic around, they wanted to find out, well, why do you call yourself a boss, right? I immediately started thinking about the YouTube streets. I'm serious in my silent thoughts. How that was so loaded. And so when they explained what it meant, one of the girls on the panel that was part of this book, is 7 of them, Dawn B is one. She took the mic and says, when I'm at home, I'm the wife to my husband. I'm his helpmeet. I flow with him. I'm submissive to my husband. I want to clip that when I can. She said, but when I'm at work, I'm the boss. I'm the boss. She said she had to find the middle, how to soften, how to take that off when she's coming home and turn that thing around for the beauty of the relationship and who she was to that man. So the guy in the room was like, in other words, okay, I get the point. I get the point. So, you know, but the fact, and she's a boss, right? And she was talking about where she came from and how she had to change friends and how she's so glad she found a group of women that are like-minded and will share in a book so other women can see how to boss up and still remain feminine, boss up and still let things shine within you and still be that feminine woman at home. That it was so powerful. But I'm telling you, when she said that, when the man got the mic, I said, I was like, I could hear the YouTube streets, the manosphere. What she talking about? She boss built. That's what I'm telling you about them women, you know. but it was, you know, wordplay and how she described exactly what they meant. And I love the fact of how she broke it down, because the guy was like, okay, now I understand, because she could explain what they were doing and what that meant. So let's see what Red Lipstick says right here. Women are the worst. I don't have many women friends. It's like you can't trust them. Well, you know what, Red Lipstick Vibe? Years ago, I had so many men friends. I always had platonic relationships. Always men. Never was inappropriate with me. Just we could kick it. It was all intellectual conversation, you know, that type of thing. But boy, that was another problem with women. There's like, look at her. She over there. She probably sleeping with him. She da-da-da. Never. I mean, it's like all it. And then the jealous spirit would pop up because he was chatting with me and not with them. Well, maybe you didn't have much to talk about, right? So you pay for being what you carry. Let's see. We have a comment here. Red Lipstick is on fire, Sir Hale. She said, and Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. Ladies, please listen to your elders, because they can sense and see things we can't. I can't tell you how many times my dad saved me. Awesome. And yeah, we did talk about how they stole her money. We talked about. So in closing, let's kind of put something really, how do we close a conversation like this? How do we give our total condolences to the entire family. And if I'm not mistaken, no, she had a sister. She wasn't the only child. I don't know if she had any brothers or anything, but a whole family is mourning today, and they will be mourning for a long time. The homegoing service that they had was absolutely beautiful for her. Someone mentioned on IG that she was such a businesswoman. She had everything in order. She had a policy in order. No one had to scrape for money. She didn't leave any pressure. No one scraped. I thought I turned this off. Whoever this is, they gotta go. I don't know who this is. Oh, go away. Someone's FaceTiming me, Sir Hale. Thought I turned it off. I'm so sorry, everyone. But how do we, they said that she had everything in order, which you don't really find for a 25-year-old. They said she didn't have, everything was set. She's a businesswoman. So that elaborate carriage with the horses and the beautiful funeral that she had was really how she handled her life in order. It was in order. The enemy just happened to turn her feet towards some wicked people that put her life on pause. So I want to give you the last words. Those of you, before you do that, Sir Hale, I want to congratulate my dear little brother / big brother for his 8,000 and more right now. It's over 8,000 subs. That's absolutely crazy, because I remember when I came on, you had just come on like a month before or something. That's when I was on the morning shows with you. But you have worked this thing, the strategy. And you shared how you was messing up in the beginning. It's so funny, your stories. You said some of your videos, right, are so funny. But look what you have done. Look what God has done. Look what you, Lady Hale, look what you guys have done. This is like record breaking. Of course you got haters, brother. Of course you do. We're talking about this stuff right now. Turn the voices off. If it's not saying, just turn the voices off, right? Just turn them off and stay focused, right? You're looking forward. The rear view mirror don't exist in your life. It just doesn't. And I just want to congratulate you. I'm trailing behind him with my 294. I hope before we leave that some of you will subscribe to this channel and at least put me at 300 tonight. Just give me that short 7 that I need and subscribe to this channel. But I'm so excited for Sir Hale and his beautiful wife, who also has an awesome channel, The Interventionist. She got a lot of channels. She real smart. You got 2 real smart people here. They are brains. They're smart people. So please subscribe to their channel as well. Facebook, YouTube, all of you wonderful people, thank you so very much. I want to yield the floor and let Sir Hale end this wonderful conversation with his words.
Much respect and love to the one of the only Bravo with Sheila. I got to give you a hand clap. Y'all listen to this. If we can help Bravo get over that to 300 today, let's all just share it and ask a few people to join. I think we can get that done today. I'm pretty confident we can get that done today. But thank you for having this conversation the way you do, because I think in all of these conversations, we talk from a place of straight intellect, but we don't always include the heart in there as well. And talking about this the way that you've done just showed some humanity, which I think we're missing largely as a country and as a world. So thank you for what you've said. And to the people who, when they saw this, reminded them of a loss similar in their life, we're praying for you, because loss is not easy. And when you see something that reminds you of something you went through or are going through, it dredges up that pain again. And then you multiply that by it being around the holidays. So we are praying for you, and I'm hoping that we'll all take this situation and some time to get some humanity and some heart, and that we find ways to care about people. And people who don't, people who prove that they don't, they have to be removed until they can be something different. But we can't put ourselves at risk. You can't put yourself at risk. When you have a light, there are people who are going to try to dim that. And so I'm praying for the family of Shanquella.
Yes.
And anybody who's suffering loss and might be triggered with depression because of all the stuff that's happening. It was very tragic, but I'm hoping that as time passes away, that God will comfort their hearts, and anybody who's dealing with that as well. And that people like Bravo with Sheila will continue to put this kind of positive, this love, this God's grace in the atmosphere, so that we can all get a piece of healing for the pain that we feel. So again, Bravo with Sheila, thank you so much for inviting me. Much love to those who are in the chat. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Stay right there, Sir Hale. Okay, guys, listen, this has been an awesome time. Thanksgiving for most of us is tomorrow, but we had to get this done. I didn't want Sir Hale and I to wait till next week. I needed to get this off of me, and I'm sure he needed to get it off of him. I will not be surprised if he pulls something and really take it to the next level to talk about it, because a lot of the people that follow him don't follow me, and which is no problem, but I want him to be able to shift this powerful conversation, what him and I and all of you that are listening and watching talked about today, because the masses need to understand it from this perspective, from this perspective. And I opened up talking about the righteous indignation, which means God said I could be upset. Anybody that is wronged, anyone who has done something to it's just a righteous indignation that makes me angry. So we love you. We love you. Let's see this last comment before we go. I hate to see a comment pop up and then I don't recognize it. Greg O, stay safe, fam. Thank you, Greg O, for being here. You stay safe as well. Happy holidays to all of you. I might pop on Sunday just for a few minutes because it is my birthday. So I might just pop on and say, hey. I might just do that.
I'll be gonna be good.
I think I'm gonna pop on for a few minutes and just say hello. You know, I'm learning how to do all this YouTube street stuff. You know, when people's birthday, they pop up and do their thing. So I'm learning and I'm growing so much because of you, my brother. You have taught me a lot, whether you know it or not. You have taught me. You and your wife have taught me a lot. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. I really do. I got to visit Texas one day and just see y'all in person. You know, I'm like, all this virtue stuff is all right, but certain folk you got to touch and feel and break bread with, right?
Absolutely.
So God bless you too. Stay right there. We're going to close. I think we close with a little soft closing. First, let me play this real quick.